Hey there, today we are making our ice cream base, the fundamental of any ice cream. First, we start with, we're going in order here of the process of ingredients, is our sugar. And my recipe calls for a half a cup of sugar, half teaspoon of salt and xanthan gum, a tablespoon of dry milk powder, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 1.5 cups of half and half, and 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. If you go on and read any ice cream recipe online, most of the time you will find heavy cream, whole milk, sugar, and sometimes eggs. And that's it. It's a very easy ingredient list. And for homemade ice creams, that's fine, but it doesn't give you that professional quality ice cream that here at Creamerie we strive for. Now, the reasons for these different ingredients is, AKA these. I like to add salt to mine because a lot of ice creams are just too sweet. And the salt cuts through the sweetness, just giving you a little boost of flavor, because salt also enhances flavor. You might be thinking, what the heck is xanthan gum and why do I need it in my ice cream? A lot of times xanthan gum is used in baking, especially gluten-free baking, because it helps make the texture of the bread more chewy like regular bread. But we use it in our ice cream to help with the smooth, creamy texture that it actually gives to our ice cream. Dry milk powder, this helps in the proteins of the milk, the ice cream. And the corn syrup, we use that along with our regular granulated sugar to help in obviously the sweetness of the ice cream, but also the freezing of our ice cream. Sugar brings down the freezing point of the ice cream. So when it's frozen, it's not this big lump hard rock of cream. It's firm and sturdy, and yet you can still scoop into it because the freezing point is lower, which is really interesting as far as ice cream goes. It's the science of ice cream is really a fascinating process, I find. And then the heavy cream and the half and half, I chose to go with half and half because I wanted a higher percentage of butterfat in my ice cream. And what the butterfat does for you in your ice cream is it also creates that velvety, smooth texture that you receive in the end product. All of these ingredients together help in those areas. The sweetness of the ice cream, the velvety, smooth, creamy texture, which these two both give you. So you've got the sweetness, you've got the velvetyness, and then the protein here, that helps to bind things together. And there you have it. What we're going to do is combine our ingredients so that we can make the most delicious ice cream base you can get. Also, another important part about your base, something that you'll find on regular everyday recipes, is they just mix their base. If it doesn't have egg, then they'll mix their base and just throw it in their ice cream maker. Well, we don't do that. I guess you could, but I don't prefer that method. I like to let our ice cream base sit in the fridge until it gets really, really cold, or even better, overnight, because all of the water in your ice cream base and all the fat get coated with each other. The fat coats the water and this emulsion takes place, which is very important for the ice cream. An emulsion is when oil and water, or fat and water, come together. And that is essentially what ice cream is the combination of fat and water. We let it sit for a long time so that the water can be covered in the fat and you have a beautiful ice cream, and those proteins can bind and come together for a really delicious ice cream. Now let's get started. So first, we are adding our sugar to our sauce pot. The burner is not yet on. We just want to combine all of our dry ingredients in the pot on the stove so that we don't have to dirty a whole bunch of dishes. So that was the sugar, and now we're going to add a half teaspoon of salt. And half teaspoon of xanthan gum. A tablespoon of dry milk powder. And we're going to give this a little whisk, a little stir. I also like to just do that. And then we will add the corn syrup, 2 tablespoons. And what I like to do is just kind of swirl it around. Everything doesn't have to be coated with this syrup, but just kind of, like, to me, that's good. And then I do this. Wipe off that excess. At this point, we add 1.5 cups of half and half and turn on the burner to medium low. And slowly just add in the half and half. And I like to do it this way, slowly, instead of all at one time, so that I can really make sure everything, all of the dry ingredients are wet and incorporated. All we want to do is dissolve all of that dryness. The sugar, the salt, the xanthan gum, and the milk powder. I like to scrape the sides just to make sure that all of the sugar is, that I don't miss any of the sugar. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's done, but you can always check by just dipping your finger in for a quick second and giving it a little feel, and if you making sure that it just feels smooth. And this does, there's no granules, so it is ready. And we will turn off the heat. And at this point, you can take it off the burner, but for our purposes, I'm just gonna leave it here. And we add our heavy cream. And you just make sure that it's nice and well combined. It is. We then pour our base into a container. I like to use mason jars. And so we'll put that in the mason jar, and then we put it in the fridge to sit overnight so that all of the ingredients of this ice cream base can really come together for a delicious base. Now that our base is completed, what I like to do is store it in a mason jar so that it can get nice and cold in the fridge. You can either use a funnel to put on top of your jar, or you can just freehand it. And that's what I'm going to do at this moment. I also really like to scrape the bottom of the bowl, the pan, so that we get all of the bits at the bottom. There you have it. Our ice cream base makes 3.5 cups, and that's what we use in our ice cream, is the full 3.5 cups. I hope you found this helpful and that you enjoy our ice cream base. It really does make a difference in your ice cream, and it's very easy. It just takes time to sit in your fridge. And this ice cream base goes with many of our flavors. All you have to do is have one or few of these in your fridge anytime you want to make one of our ice cream flavors, such as oat chip dough or French toast, Biscoff, whatever you want, whatever your taste buds are telling you. And all you got to do is pull it out of your fridge and you're ready to go making your ice cream. Enjoy.